Welcome back to the deep dive. So, today we are going to challenge a pretty massive assumption that I think a lot of us have just sort of quietly accepted about the future.
Hmm.
If you think back maybe 10 years ago, the future of the home, it had a very specific look.
Oh, yeah. It was all the Jetsons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were promised everything would have a screen, your fridge would tweet at you, and your toaster would probably, need a software update before you can make breakfast.
It was that Silicon Valley obsession with the smart home.
Yeah.
The idea was to make a dumb object valuable, you just add a microchip and an internet connection.
Right. Complexity was the goal. But while we were all distracted by these like $400 internet juicers that didn't even work,
Right.
a completely different revolution was happening in the unsexy corners of the kitchen. And that is what we're digging into today.
And it turns out the real innovation isn't about slapping Bluetooth on a blender. It's happening in the physics of heating elements and the supply chain of water filters.
This is where we get into a concept called premiumization.
And I want to be really clear about this from the start. This is not just marketing jargon for let's raise the price. It's not about putting a luxury logo on a cheap machine.
It's much deeper.
It is. It's a fundamental re-engineering of the physics, the experience, and even the business models of these machines we touch every single day.
So to guide us through this, we're breaking down a fascinating analysis from Forbes. It's called the Premiumization Playbook for Reinventing a Dull Product Category.
And it's written by Lilian Raji.
Exactly. And I think it's important to give you some context on Lilian because her background is really the lens for this whole thing. She's not a tech reporter. She is a heavy hitter in the luxury space.
Absolutely. Lilian is a global luxury communications advisor, a fractional CMO, and the president of the Lilian Raji agency. I mean, for over 2 decades, she's been a trusted strategic advisor for some of the world's top luxury brands.
She also founded the PR Advisor and writes the Pursuit of Luxury column for Forbes.
So when she looks at a toaster, she's not just seeing a gadget. She's analyzing it through this lens of emotional marketing and, high-end value creation.
And in this article, Lilian breaks down how 4 specific companies, Revolution Cooking, Rorra, FirstBuild, and Bartesian, completely reinvented these stagnant markets.
She identifies 4 specific levers they pulled. And what I love about Lilian's analysis is that she kind of creates a roadmap here. She talks about fixing the physics,
Restaging the experience.
rewiring the company, and redesigning the P&L. It's a systems-level critique of why boring products stay boring.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with that first one, fixing the physics, because this honestly blew my mind. We're talking about the toaster.
The humble, neglected toaster.
I don't think I've ever once stopped to think about how a toaster works. You push the lever down, the coils get red, bread turns brown. That's it.
End of story. But Lilian introduces us to Tom Clough, the founder of Revolution Cooking, and he pointed out something that it's just baffling when you say it out loud. It's baffling. Clough noticed that if you buy a $20 plastic toaster and then you go buy a $6,000 high-end oven, they're using the exact same heating technology.
Wait, really? The same stuff?
It's the exact same. It's called nichrome wire.
Nichrome wire. I've never heard of it, but I feel like I've been looking at it my whole life.
You have. It's those gray coils that glow orange.
Yeah.
And here is the kicker. That technology was invented in the 1890s.
You're kidding. So we're literally cooking breakfast with Victorian-era technology.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
And the problem, as Clough explains in the article, isn't just that it's old. It's that it's inefficient.
How so?
Nichrome wire has what engineers call high thermal mass. It takes a ton of energy to get hot, and once it's hot, it stays hot. It's sluggish.
Okay, that makes sense. That's why preheating an oven takes 20 minutes, or why toast takes forever and sort of dries out before it browns.
Exactly. It's a slow, dry heat. Now, the standard smart home approach would be what? Put a touchscreen on the toaster, but keep the nichrome wire inside.
Right, just dressing it up.
Just dressing up the pig. Clough realized the real opportunity wasn't in the interface. It was deep in the physics.
So they didn't just hire a designer to make it look sleek.
No, they hired scientists, thermal engineers, and they developed a completely new heating system called Instagree-Olo.
Instagree. It sounds like a marketing term, but Lilian explains that it's actually a material science breakthrough.
It is. It's a proprietary alloy, and it's combined with a control stack, basically algorithms that modulate heat in real time. Unlike nichrome, this alloy heats up instantly and cools down instantly.
So it gives the machine total control.
Total control. So instead of this dumb wire that just gets hot and, hopes for the best, You have an intelligent heating system.
And because it heats up so fast, it changes the quality of the cooking.
That's the key. It sears the bread, locking in moisture instead of slowly drying it out like a nichrome coil.
Lilian calls this the physics lever. And what strikes me is that they attacked a constraint that every other company just saw as a law of nature.
Right. Everyone assumed toasting takes time. Clapp said, no, that's just a limitation of 1890s wire.
And by breaking that constraint, they unlocked the ability to charge a premium. I mean, if you save someone 5 minutes every morning and the bagel actually tastes better.
That's tangible value. People will pay for time and quality.
And Lilian notes, they're not stopping there. This tech is moving into ovens. Imagine an oven that combines microwave speed, air frying, and this infrared Insta-GLO tech. No preheating.
None. You press a button, and it's at temperature. That fundamentally changes the rhythm of cooking. A 40-minute chore becomes a 20-minute task.
Yeah.
That's true premiumization. You're selling time back to people.
So that's physics. But sometimes the physics are fine, but the whole vibe is wrong.
Right.
This brings us to Lilian's second example and the second lever, restaging the experience.
And this is the story of Rorra and the water filter.
Okay, I'll be honest. I have a water filter pitcher. It's plastic, it's scratched up, it gets that weird film on it, and I absolutely hide it in the fridge when people come over.
You and everyone else. And that shame, that feeling of wanting to hide it, that was the specific insight for Brian Keller, the co-founder of Rorra. He realized the problem wasn't just filtration. It was countertop real estate.
He wanted a filter that looked like a $100 million brand from day one.
Exactly. If the toaster's flaw was mechanics, the water filter's was aesthetics. So Rorra just abandoned the cheap plastic shell and built this gravity-fed system using medical-grade stainless steel.
Medical grade definitely sounds premium, but is there a deeper reason for that besides just looking nice?
Oh yeah, it's about the interaction.
Yeah.
Lilian highlights a specific detail here that I think is just brilliant. Keller was obsessed with the tap handle.
Little spigot you use to get the water?
Yes. But think about like a high-end beer tap at a nice bar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weight to it, mechanical resistance, a satisfying click.
Ah, I get it.
He wanted to replicate that, not a flimsy plastic tab, a machine interface.
It's a small detail, but it changes the whole interaction from a chore to, I don't know, a moment.
That's the word Lilian uses. Ritual. The whole idea was to make drinking water a ritualistic act of self-care. If it's beautiful, you leave it on the counter. If it's on the counter, you use it more. It becomes a centerpiece, not clutter.
But a beautiful product is hard to sell if people don't think they have a problem in the first place. And this is where their marketing got really interesting.
They didn't just run ads saying, buy our pretty filter.
No. They used data to create the demand. They partnered with the environmental working group to build a searchable dashboard.
This is the tool where you can check your local water, right?
Yes. You go to their site, you type in your zip code, and it pulls public data to tell you exactly what contaminants are in your local tap water.
That is highly effective and, frankly, a little terrifying.
It is. But look at the mechanism. It gives you immediate personalized value before even asking for a sale. Lilian notes they got something like 25 to 30,000 email subscribers before they even launched the product.
So the zip code search creates the pain. Oh, my water is dirty. And the medical grade filter offers the cure. And it looks good doing it.
Precisely. They turned commodity utility into a luxury lifestyle product. That's classic premiumization.
Okay, so we have startups reinventing toasters and water filters. But what if you're a massive legacy company? Can a giant even pivot like this?
That is usually where innovation goes to die. And that brings us to Lilian's third lever, rewiring the company. This focuses on FirstBuild, which is a division of GE Appliances.
GE, I mean, they're huge. They build reliable, massive machines, fridges, washing machines, global supply chains.
Right. And Andres Dano, who runs FirstBuild, he explains the problem so clearly in the article. These big corporate structures are built for efficiency and scale.
Of course.
But if you try to run a small, weird idea through the same process you use for a global refrigerator launch, the corporate antibodies just kill it.
It's too heavy. The costs are too high. The timelines are too long. Dano says big structures just smash small ideas.
So how did they solve it?
They created a safe zone. FirstBuild is a subsidiary, but it operates with none of GE's corporate scaffolding. Lilian calls it quarantine innovation.
Quarantine innovation. I love that. Keep the bureaucracy away from the creative.
And the whole point of this quarantine isn't just to succeed, it's to fail fast. Zdano mentions an 85% rejection rate.
Wait, 85%, that's the goal. In a normal GE division, that would get you fired.
At FirstBuild, that's the KPI.
So how do they fail without losing millions of dollars?
By completely changing how they validate ideas. Traditional R&D is so secretive. You spend 50 grand on a focus group, you hide the prototype, you spend 2 years developing it.
Right.
FirstBuild flips that. They have a zero-distance ethos.
Which means
It means they put their rough prototypes directly onto TikTok and Instagram.
they just show the world what they're working on. Aren't they worried someone will steal the idea?
Zdeno basically says, until you launch, most people think your idea is crazy anyway. The bigger risk is building something nobody wants. He says, and I quote, literally 10 minutes in an iPhone could have answered that question.
A question that a focus group takes months to answer. Wow.
So if a TikTok gets 1 million views, they build it. If it gets 0 views, they kill it. It's this full contact tech sport approach that gave us the indoor mushroom grower and famously the countertop nugget ice maker.
The nugget ice, the good ice, the kind you get at Sonic.
That's the one. That product would likely never have survived a traditional corporate review board. A machine just for ice. Why? But the internet screamed, yes. So they built it.
It's so interesting. It's a big company admitting that it can't act like a big company if it wants to be innovative.
You have to remove the scaffolding to let new ideas breathe.
Okay, so we have the products, the design, and the company structure. But there's one last hurdle that kills more innovative products than anything else.
Getting people to actually buy it. The cost of acquisition.
And this is Lilian's 4th level, redesigning the P&L. And the case study here is Bartesian.
The cocktail machine. Like a Keurig, but for margaritas.
Yes. So Ryan Close is the CEO. And they had a great product, users loved it, but they had a massive problem, obscurity. Nobody knew it existed.
And the usual solution is just buy ads.
But Close realized that digital ads, Google, Meta, were a trap. He calls that channel a gas tank with holes in it.
I think a lot of business owners listening can relate to that. The customer acquisition cost, CAC, has just skyrocketed. You just pour money in and it vanishes.
And TV is even worse. It needs this massive upfront capital that a startup just doesn't have. So Close got creative with the P&L. He decided to pay for media with something other than cash.
This is the premiumization through partnership.
He used equity. He went to these media giants, Comcast, Channel 4 in the UK, iHeartMedia, and he structured deals where he gave them ownership stakes in Bartesian in exchange for ad inventory.
That's a very specific kind of leverage. He's betting the exposure is worth diluting his own ownership.
And it aligns incentives perfectly. Comcast now wants Bartesian to succeed because they own a piece of it. They're not just a vendor, they're a partner.
And the results?
Massive scale. Lilian notes they hit $100 million a year. And there was this secondary effect. Once they were on TV, their digital ad costs on Meta actually dropped.
Because of brand awareness, right? Creates trust.
Exactly. If I see a random ad on Instagram, I scroll past. If I see an ad for a product I just saw on TV during a game, I might actually click. The TV exposure healed the holes in the gas tank.
Lilian also mentions there was a bit of luck involved, too.
There's always luck. In this case, it was organic TikToks. Users started filming themselves using the machine. One video hit 50 million views. That eventually led to them landing on Oprah's favorite things.
But Close makes the point that he didn't knock on Oprah's door.
No, but, and this is key, that organic luck wouldn't have scaled the business to $100 million without the infrastructure they built through those media for equity deals. They built a megaphone so big that when luck struck, they could amplify it.
So we've looked at 4 really different companies. Toasters, water filters, corporate skunk works, cocktail robots. If we zoom out, what's the thread connecting all of them? What is Lilian really telling us here?
I think if we synthesize it all, the core philosophy is a refusal to mistake veneer for value.
Veneer for value. That's a powerful phrase.
It is. All of these founders, they stopped asking, how do I make this smarter? They didn't just add an app. They went back to first principles and asked, what made this product dumb in the first place?
Why does the toaster take so long? Why is the water filter so ugly? Why is it so hard to get good ice at home?
Exactly. They identified these constraints that the rest of the industry had just accepted, and then they broke them. Revolution Cooking broke the thermal constraint, Rorra broke the aesthetic constraint, FirstBuild broke the bureaucratic constraint, and Bartesian broke the financial one.
And that definition of premiumization is really empowering. It's not about luxury just for status. It's about creating so much utility and joy that the consumer is actually happy to pay more.
Lilian sums it up perfectly in the article. She says the next billion-dollar brand probably isn't in some high-tech vertical like AI. It's likely sitting on your countertop right now, doing exactly what it did in 1950, just waiting for someone to notice.
It's the boring opportunity.
The boring opportunity is often the most profitable one because everyone else is ignoring it. They're all chasing the shiny new thing, leaving these dull categories wide open for reinvention.
I think that's the perfect place to leave it.
But before we go, I want to give you a little homework assignment.
Oh, we're doing homework now.
Just a thought experiment. I want you to look around your kitchen or your office right now. Find an object you use every single day but haven't really thought about in years.
A stapler? A desk lamp? The coffee maker?
And just ask yourself, has this object fundamentally changed in the last 50 years? Because if the answer is no, that right there might be your billion-dollar idea.
It's hiding in plain sight.
We've really only scratched the surface of Lilian's analysis here. The article has these incredible images of the products. You really have to see the Rorra filter and the Revolution toaster to get the design appeal.
I highly recommend reading the full piece. It's a masterclass in product strategy.
You can find the article on Forbes, or you can head over to www.lilianraji.com. That's LILINRAJI.com. She has a ton of additional analysis there on the luxury industry that is well worth your time.
And she's active on social as well.
Yes, definitely connect with Lilian on LinkedIn and follow her on Instagram and YouTube. She's always sharing insights like this that just force you to look at the world a little differently.
It has definitely changed how I look at my breakfast routine.
Same here. I'm eyeing my toaster with a lot of suspicion right now. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. Go find your boring category and reinvent it. We'll see you next time.